Hi everybody, Chris Titley here and welcome to Scoreboard.
This episode is powered by SwiftX, Australia's top-rated crypto exchange and proudly homegrown, just like many of the athletes and business leaders we feature on Scoreboard.
Hi, it's Chris Titley here, and on today's episode of Scoreboard, the podcast, I'm joined by Erone Fitzpatrick live in her very first podcast. Erin, thank you so much for being part of the series.
No worries. Thanks so much for having me.
We're sitting here on Wednesday, the 22nd of October, in the midst of the AFLW season. How's your season? How's your year been so far?
I think we had a really good start to our 2025 season. Kind of have fallen off in the last couple of weeks. But that's not something that we're too worried about, to be honest. Like, it isn't a trend in how we want to play or anything. We're just kind of focusing on the next two games now and being really consistent in them. We've had a pretty solid season. And you can really see the growth of the past 2 years under our coach, Matthew Buck, like really come into, I suppose, flourishing. You can really see that growth and development within the whole group. And then obviously the new players that are coming in with a skill set that is just unbelievable. So yeah, it's been going pretty good, and we're really excited for the next two games.
Yeah, well, this particular game is something special. It's the Carlton Respects Round, long-standing initiative with the Carlton Club. Do you want to talk about how important that is to you and also to the club?
Yeah, it's a really important initiative for the club, and I suppose like that it just raised awareness around gender violence, especially towards women. And yeah, I was very lucky to be part of myself, Harriet and Dana. We're very lucky to be facilitators in the Road to Respect program. It's just really good to be able to start kids really young in terms of kind of gaining the knowledge around respect. Just the components of the modules are really interesting around how to manage their emotions, bullying and help seeking, being a good buddy and stereotypes, and then, just around values and respect. And it's really great to be able to see the knowledge that they come out of those workshops with, and just the impact that I can have on them at such a young age that they can carry for the rest of their life.
Absolutely. And you're wearing orange now. We've got the orange socks wearing on Saturday as well. And I think it's important. We talked about education, the language. It's not just about like the offline banter. It can make a difference. So it's thinking about what comes out of your mouth and the behaviour at a very early age, because that's the way it's going to change.
Yeah, and as athletes, we have an impact on younger people's lives as well. And it's kind of making sure that we're up standards in that way. And we're just promoting really good education and language around respect and gender violence and stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the 9th year that Carlton's done this initiative, which is fantastic. And I wish you all the best on the weekend against the Giants. But let's talk about you for a second. Your breakout year, so to speak, from 23, a bit of injury in 24, but now into 2025. You want to talk about what you're doing differently, I suppose, in terms of some of the habits and how you're going as an individual.
Yeah, I suppose when I first came over, I didn't really have a lot of the knowledge that I have now, just because you're surrounded by the best people over here, and you have so many different resources that you can tap into. And I suppose when I done my ACL, I was like, how can I come back a better player and ultimately a better person from it? And I suppose the habits that I've kind of changed is definitely around my nutrition. Like when it comes to lunches after training and stuff, I bring in my own to make sure I'm definitely getting the right nutrients post training. And then, I suppose just making sure that my body's in the best possible shape it can be in. Recovery has definitely become a staple in my routine. And just really tapping into the resources that we have at the club. Like we're very fortunate to have such great staff and facilities just utilising them to the best of my ability has been, I suppose, the change.
You mentioned you bring your own lunch in. I've been to Icon Park to meet a couple of your teammates recently, and the smells that come out of the kitchen, I was oh my goodness, wow.
Amazing. I know. I do miss the lunches, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love them. But for me, bringing my own lunch is something I can control. And like we always say as athletes, control the controllables. And for me, that's probably just something I can control.
There's something special about Icon Park being the facilities there and also playing there. Do you want to talk about that and the feeling around the club and the facilities that you share with everyone and there's lots of action and lots of people talking.
Yeah,
It feels very community driven.
Yeah, and I suppose when in myself and Dana's first year at Carlton, we worked in the cafe, and just the vibe and stuff that the upstairs staff bring is huge, and just the relationship that we have with everybody upstairs and around, like the workers, the groundskeepers, like everything. It's just a really close community there. And even the way like our AFL and AFLW programs overlap, like we always manage to make things work. And yeah, it's just a really nice way for the AFL program and the AFLW program to kind of, I suppose, be in contact with each other and ask each other how your week is going, and you kind of build that relationship from there. But what we like to do, especially with our W program, is invite some of the upstairs like the different working groups. They get to come down and kind of have a day in the life of what our program looks like, which is really cool to get to sit in on the meetings, to get to come out and watch training. And usually they're the people going around with the Gatorade and the water, so we're well hydrated that day. But yeah, we had like the media team and marketing team and all come to our training yesterday, which is really cool. And you get to build those relationships through that, and it just, like, kudos to the work that Carlton are doing to be able to, I suppose, have a community like that.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Now, growing up, did you ever think you'd be a professional AFLW player?
Oh, well, growing up, I always wanted to be an Olympian. I don't. Yeah.
In what event? Did you have any event, or just want to be Olympian?
I was a long distance runner. I done a lot of cross country and stuff as a young child, which has probably helped me growing up playing Gaelic football and stuff. It's given me that aerobic capacity, I suppose. But my nana always said, if you're good at running, you'll be good at anything else, because you can always work on the skill side of it. It's hard to get that fitness. But yeah, always wanted to be an Olympian. But I suppose AFLW kind of came into my mind when so many Irish players had headed over, and Zach Tuohy's actually from where I'm from at home, and he was the first person I contacted when Carlton kind of got in contact with me about coming over and having an interview and stuff. So he was a great help to me in the process of that. And yeah, I suppose once I seen so many Irish players leave and come over here and saw how well they were getting on, it was definitely something that I suppose came to my mind then about, I could actually potentially have a shot of going over and being one of those players.
The skills are very similar, and I played Gaelic football growing up here in Brisbane, believe it or not. But the ball would be something a little bit different. How did you go with the ball?
The ball's the hardest part. I suppose the game at home is very predictable. Like the ball, the bounce, everything is so predictable that you can almost play a perfect game at home. Whereas when you come over here, the bounce just sells you, like it sells candy. I'm like, you go over to try get the ball and the ball bounced the other way. So yeah, that was definitely something that I had to work on. And then just tapping into like Darcy Vestio and other players like that were really experienced to kind of get their knowledge on how the ball actually works. And like after however many bounces on the ground, the ball will bounce back up to you and stuff like that. So just gaining that kind of knowledge, I suppose, from all those experienced players really helps.
And what about the positioning? How did you go with the Gaelic positioning versus the AFL positioning?
Yeah, I suppose at home it's not very structured in like how you move and where you run to really. And at home, most of the time, I probably would have been like the go-to player to get the ball to. So I had no patterns. I could just kind of see ball, get ball. That when I first came over here, I was kind of running around like a headless chicken. I was doing a lot of east-west patterns rather than north-south. So, yeah, in fairness, the club just helped me so much with that. And even having the bench role last year just gave me a really good understanding of what the coaches were thinking. And you got to see a lot of vision of what good patterns look like. and things like that. So yeah, the running patterns definitely got me when I first came.
Yeah, and then you reckon if you went back to Gaelic all of a sudden in the next after the season that you'd be like, oh my goodness, it's confusing now.
Yeah, I was literally just saying that to my family. I was like, I'd forget some of the rules of Gaelic football now, because when you're out of it for a really long time, like that moves on and there's new rules in Gaelic and stuff that when you do go home, it'd be very hard not to tackle someone anyway, that's for sure, because over here you have that license to be able to do that. So it's just those little things that you'd kind of forget when you go home.
Yeah, and then from obviously a team point of view and an individual point of view, you're practicing your skills and you're becoming better knowing your game and upping your ante, but then your role within the team. Do you want to talk about the connection the team has had this year, I suppose, and everyone starting to know their roles a little bit more?
Yeah, and we kind of chatted about how nobody can kind of slip under the radar anymore with knowing their roles and the education around how we want to play. Because if you're thrown into that situation, you have to know, because I suppose we've seen so much growth, but right now is a time that we really want to implement I suppose our knowledge and education, and it shows how competitive we have been this year, and that's all down to the education that people have put in. But yeah, just our connection on field too has been absolutely brilliant, and that's down to people really going to work on what they need to work on. Like we've had an extra skill session in the preseason just to get those fundamentals right, and like after every single training session, you can see people going to their line coaches and seeing what they need to work on, and how they can do that. We had weekly reviews. Then we had like a pre and post training questionnaire that you would write down what you wanted to work on in that training session, and then post training was, did you execute that, and if not, how are you going to go about executing it in the next training session. But yeah, I think everybody is just really tapped into that education and are just really hungry to get better.
And in terms of yourself and maybe the team as well, are you a goal setter?
I don't like to set too many goals, I suppose. For me, it overstimulates me sometimes. But we have worked on goal setting and stuff as a group, but more often than not, it might be just something that, like, you might set a few goals with your line coach or with Bucky or whatever it is. It's kind of up to your own discretion if you want to do that. But yeah, it's not something that we usually do. It's just if you want to do it individually, you can. But personally, I do think goal setting is really helpful. It gives you, I suppose, a guidance of what you need to work on, and things like that. But for me personally, it kind of overwhelms me a little bit. So yeah, I just kind of take each session as it comes, and if I need to work on something or something becomes a general theme, well, then that's something I'll go to work on.
The old keep it simple, stupid. Was it KISS back in the days? Keep it simple.
Exactly.
Right?
That's it. Don't overcomplicate things.
Don't overcomplicate it. Yes. But then let's go behind the scenes in terms of a game day routine for you and what that looks like.
Well, I actually consider myself a little bit superstitious. So usually it kind of depends on what time the game is at, but I would try have the same routine before every game as much as I can. So that would be waking up around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, making sure that I'm having my breakfast early so that I can keep eating throughout the day and keep eating all my carbohydrates, I suppose. But yeah, would usually wake up around then, have my breakfast, have my coffee, head out for a walk. And then I would have my mid-morning snack, which might be a bit of sushi. And then just liquid kind of carb from there. I don't really do too much on a game day just because I want to, I suppose, reserve that energy as much as possible. But the one thing that's staple in my game day routine is I have a wrap with rice, banana, and honey. So just pure carbohydrates. And I definitely think that's something that's helped me, I suppose. It could be just all in my head, but That's definitely something that I never change on my game day. And I think it prepares me really well for the game.
Sorry, a wrap with rice, banana, and honey. So like laid out rice, like a Guzman Gomez wrap,
yep.
but then like chopped up banana,
and then
honey. And then do you eat it as a whole, or do you slice it? What do you like,
just
sushi?
Eat
Just
it
whole.
as a whole. Yeah.
And that particular formula has stayed with you for how long?
I started it this year. So my boyfriend's into like marathons and things like that, and he done it before a couple of his marathons and said that it really helped him. So I was like, no harm in trying it. And now I'm not a big fan of honey, but you can kind of get over that fact that for me it helps. So I'm happy to eat the honey when I have to.
Take some honey through the liquids on the carry-on. Is that what you do, or do you go to
we usually get them? It's funny because Harriet Cordner actually does the same thing. She'd have like a pot of rice, a bit of honey. She wouldn't have the wrapper banana, but usually in the hotel we're like, have you asked for the honey yet? So usually like when we do go interstate, the hotels are very facilitating in what we need and stuff, so it's good.
And it's half time here on the Scoreboard podcast, and we've got a couple of shout outs to our friends at Step One and Gripstar Socks. Step One is giving us a $50 gift card, as well as Gripstar Socks giving us some free pair of socks to the first person that emails chris@scoreboardpodcast.com with the words AFLW in line with our guest today. Thank you to our friends at Step One and Gripstar Socks. Check them out. Step One, the world's most comfortable undies, according to me, and Gripstar Socks, very, very comfortable socks. Gripstar Socks, Step One, Scoreboard. Thanks very much. Now let's get back to the second half. And do you watch your own games? Are you an analyst? Are you a data person, or are you a bit sort of, again, keep it simple?
Yeah, I suppose I do tend to like to look back at the games, just to be able to see like how my patterns are, if there was anything I could have done differently. And then usually after every game anyway, we have an individual review with our line coach, we have a line review, and then we have an overall team review. And yeah, I do like to kind of look back at my game and see where I could have done better, even areas that I've grown really good at doing, I suppose. But yeah, it's definitely something that I would do post game.
And in terms of the physicality and the speed of the AFLW coming into your third season, quote unquote, but certainly how have you found adapting to that? And then I suppose not just the physicality, but also the mental side of things?
Yeah, I suppose we're in the gym for a reason. And that's what I love about AFL and AFLW is the fact that you get to use that strength that you're building. And that's what I found really hard at home in Ireland is when you're in the gym, you're wanting to get better, you're wanting to get stronger, and you can't use that physicality that you've built. That's what I absolutely love about over here is you really get to use it. And it was definitely something I struggled with at the start because going from kind of a non-contact sport of Gaelic to a full contact sport of AFLW was definitely really hard. And sorry, what was the second part of that question?
I'm talking about the mental strength and the mental skills of things.
Yeah, well, we work very closely with our sports psychologist around performance mindset and things like that. And she's done tremendous work with us, especially this year. And I think it showed in a few of the games that have been very close and we've been able to come out on top. We've just built that resilience mindset, I suppose, as a group. And it's probably something now that we really need to implement in the next couple of weeks with the last two games and then hopefully going into finals.
And then the resilience you talk about and from a personal point of view, the ACL injury. Do you want to talk about that, how pivotal that was in terms of emotions, and then now looking back at that particular time and moment, looking back now and going where you've achieved and what you've achieved?
Yeah, I suppose like at the time, it's really like it hurts. It hurts so much when, especially because it's been my second ACL. I done my first one when I was 19. That I was like, oh, here we go again. But when I look back at it now, I'm actually grateful it happened. And everything happens in life for a reason. And that's the way I like to see it, is it's happened, you can't change it. But the first part of an ACL is acceptance. You have to accept it's happened. And only until you do that is when you can actually work to get better, I suppose. But yeah, it takes such a mental, like, I suppose a mental strain when you first do it, because you think of a 12-month long rehab. But for me, working closely with the head of our rehab was, I want to have mini goals. So we work every 4 weeks. We have to achieve a different goal. So that was like flexion and things like that. Every 2 weeks, I had to make sure that I was a certain amount of degrees. I was able to bend my knee a certain amount of degrees more, let's say 2 or 3 degrees more. And then with running, it was like making sure that we were progressing steadily, I suppose. And then when it came to being able to do a bit more upper body wise, it was how many chin-ups can I do, like just different things like that, taking my mind off the long-term goal of being back full training. And that really helped me mentally. And then I suppose, like with the resilience side, is you're on the sidelines for a whole year looking on and envious of everybody else, that you go through so much in that rehab, like the ups and downs, the highs and lows, like there's so much you experience. But when you come back out of it, you come out of it a way better player and overall a better person. And I found how to build empathy like in that time. And I suppose I've become a better teammate because of it. And at the end of the day, you never take a training session or a game for granted, because you've went through a year of not being able to be out there with everybody. And I think that's the hardest part. And the best part, I suppose, about being involved in a team sport is you just want to be out there playing with your friends. And ultimately, when it's taken away, it's really hard. But I've definitely built a huge bucket of resilience that our team is definitely I suppose, how would I say, become more resilient as well this year, just with the help of our performance mindset side.
That's brilliant. Are you having fun?
Love it. I absolutely love it. And like, I suppose when you're going well, it's easier to have fun too. But just the group that we have, and like we talk about it the whole time, but we're just a big group of friends that absolutely love what we're doing, and we're very lucky and fortunate to be in the position that we're in. And a lot of the younger players are 18 doing what they love to do and with their best friends. So yeah, it's such a great environment to be in.
And how do you define or call Melbourne now? Is it your home, second home, third home?
Definitely my home. I don't see myself going home at all, to be honest. Like, I've really built a life for myself here. And yeah, I suppose it was a conversation that my boyfriend and I kind of had to have, was if we were planning on going home, or if it was a long-term thing for us. And like, even when my family come over, they're like, don't ever come home. Like, the life that you have here is just amazing, and the opportunities that you have here are just unbelievable. And you see younger people that are able to move out of their homes at a really young age, and you could never do that at home in Ireland, just with the way like housing and stuff is just so unaffordable. That yeah, I suppose I would definitely call Melbourne my home now.
And what's the best part about Melbourne that you've found?
Oh, the coffee. Coffee is elite here. Absolutely love it. No, I just love, I suppose, being able to go sightseeing and things like that. And like, I've went to Sydney, I've went to Brisbane and got sick of it pretty quickly. That I just never get sick of Melbourne. And like, once you've seen something, I'm happy enough to go back and see it again. So yeah, I just love it so much.
Very good, very good. Now I'm from Brisbane, so come any time. It's a lovely place, as well as Sydney. We're very lucky here in Australia to live live the way that we do sometimes with the sun, and we got the summer of cricket coming, and all these sort of things as well. Sporting mecca of one of the sporting meccas of the world, surely Australia. Now, as part of the Scoreboard podcast, I asked my guests about their scoreboard moment, which is a moment in their life which is very vivid and it's very clear. It's like a sliding doors moment. And from that moment, life changed. I'm curious, Erin, about your scoreboard moment.
So I suppose I've always loved sport growing up. I was involved in everything and anything. And when I went into secondary school, I had a PE teacher that played with the Cork ladies senior football team, and they'd won 7 All-Ireland finals in a row. And I suppose she saw the potential that I could have as a sports person in Gaelic, and she instilled that belief in me from a really young age. And I suppose from there, my sporting career took off, and I could see the impact and that I could have in the Gaelic world, I suppose.
That's amazing. I'm almost tempted to do a segment on coaches or teachers, because there's a moment in most athletes' life where there's like the instilled belief of a coach, or they backed you and whatnot. Yeah. It's just so powerful at that age. But as an adult looking back, going, what are they saying that resonates so well in terms of getting the best out of you? It's amazing. Full credit to them. Yeah.
And I suppose she was a very influential Gaelic footballer herself at that time. So I don't think she realised the impact she had on all of us as a group. But for her to say that to me, I was like, wow, someone of that caliber thinks so highly of me. So maybe I should start thinking about myself in that way too. That really hit home with me from a young age.
Now, I also asked my guests about their favourite all-time sporting moment, and I preface it to say it doesn't include yourself. So something you can watch 1,000 times over.
Yeah, I definitely think Mo Farah winning the Olympics back in, I think it was 2012.
2012, yeah.
Yeah, because he'd done a double that year as well. Was it the 10 and the 5 or something?
Yes, I think so. I can't remember. But
I think it was the 10 and the 5. And I just looked at him and I was just in awe of what he could achieve that year. That's definitely something that has stayed in my mind for a really long time.
And at Scoreboard, we have a major sponsor in SwiftX, which is Australia's most trusted cryptocurrency exchange with over 1.2 million users in Australia and New Zealand. And as part of their new campaign, Where Can Crypto Take You?, we run a little segment called the SwiftX Bucket List, or the Bucket List powered by SwiftX, whichever way you want. And the Bucket List is a sporting event that you haven't attended live that you would love to attend.
Yeah, I suppose going back to the Olympics, I would love to go see the athletics. I don't care what event. I just love watching the Olympics on television, and any race, any field event. I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. You've got 2 options, LA or you've got Brisbane coming up in 2032. So hang around. If you don't get LA, you know where you can come. Brisbane. Let's do it. Now, Erone, it's time for the Scoreboard Trivia, which is powered by our friends at Video Pro. From home entertainment to business tech solutions, Video Pro brings world-class technology to Queensland and beyond. With over 40 years of expertise and a team that truly cares, Video Pro is trusted by households, schools and businesses alike. Find out more at videopro.com.au, and they are giving away a $200 gift card to the first person that sends me an email, chris@scoreboardpodcast.com, with the correct answers of the trivia that I'm about to do. Today's theme is AFLW, surprise, surprise. Let's get to today's trivia. First question out of the 2 questions. How many clubs play in the AFLW?
18.
18 is the correct answer. Geez, you nailed that. I mean, it's a pretty basic question, but sometimes you go, I don't know, 16, 17, 18. Well done. Correct. Now, it's a little bit more of AFLW trivia. There are 4 teams. No, I've just given the answer away. I'm going to rephrase that. How many teams? I'm going to do this again. Ready? And question number 2. How many teams have scored over 100 points in a single game in AFLW this year?
I think 4.
4, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Jackpot now. Double points. You don't have to do this, people, but double points. Name the teams.
Sydney.
Correct.
Brisbane.
Correct. In round 2 or 3, I think it was. Yep.
Yeah, North Melbourne.
North Melbourne got 114 in one game, yes.
And I think Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide, double points. Double points, winner, chicken dinner. Your AFLW trivia. Thanks to Video Pro for giving us away a $200 gift card to help for the sponsorship. Now, a couple final questions. One, some advice to some younger aspiring young girls growing up going, I want to be an AFLW player or I want to be a professional athlete. Some advice.
Believe in yourself. And I think that's something that I hope younger girls of even where I come from at home is we probably don't get a lot of success, and it doesn't even really come down to a lot of success. But if you just keep being committed, dedicated, and have fun in the process, you'll definitely achieve your dreams. And I definitely think the one thing that I really took from my teacher when she instilled that belief in me was just, believe that you can do it. And from there, you'll flourish. And
then if you have a little bit of a setback or a big knock on that journey, some advice then when you're just feeling the pain.
I suppose don't give up on your dreams. Work hard, seek the help that you need, because that'll be really beneficial in the process. But just keep believing that you can do it. And again, just stay committed and dedicated to what you want to achieve. And again, just have fun in the process. My rehab was probably the best time I ever had. And I built the best relationships with people that I probably wouldn't necessarily have built if I hadn't went through that. Sometimes what I like to say as well is keep your circle small. You don't want too much outside noise too. Just be dedicated and committed in your rehab or whatever bad stuff that happens. And you'll come out the better in the end.
Erone Fitzpatrick, thank you so much for coming on Scoreboard, the podcast, to share your story in your very first podcast. How'd it go?
So good. You're great.
Yeah, no. Thank you. Thank you. It was a lovely podcast. I wish you all the best in this weekend, particularly with the Carlton Respects game.
Thank you very much.
And also for the season. Congratulations on a wonderful year thus far. Looking forward to sharing your progress and supporting you where I can.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.